Welcome back, Wawa.
Welcome back, my girl, my sister Peggy. We are part 2 of our Sisters Live show, and we said earlier today we have conversations that we speak on every Saturday, and the first Saturday of the month we speak on domestic violence. This is a subject matter that we all do not like to speak on or talk about, but we have to, we must, because we're about saving lives, we're about educating, we're about enlightening and empowering people and bringing some understanding as to what we need to do to help to make a change. I always say this is a movement because we have to continue to make things come together, and we need people to make that movement happen.
We must have conversation.
And we must have conversation. So this is a conversation. We want to speak on things that are happening because the numbers are vast. We know the women is populated in terms of them being victims and being affected by this, as well as men and our children. So we talk about families who are being hurt, but being distraught, and how things are destroying them. And one way that I speak on my behalf of that, I said earlier, on the production side, I'm not a counselor. I put a disclaimer out there. I'm not anyone to have an organization as such, but we bring it from the arts, from the arts, and how we can express ourselves through the arts. And this is a mission that we are given because I've lived it, I've seen it. I have so many women who come to me, countless of women who have said that they have been a part of being a victim, they have been involved with it, and they have also been, they thank God for even still being alive.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how serious it was for them. They had to go somewhere and be rescued, somewhere that they can find safety, somewhere where they can find a place to even live. And believe it or not, there are not many people that know where they can go.
And to know where the resources are.
And where the resources are.
Exactly.
To do that. So we're here today to continue the conversation on this matter. We have so many other people who want to be a part of what we're doing. And we're going to be connecting with some folks.
Exactly. This is a good example right here.
This is a good example where we're going to talk about today. We have these two awesome young lady and this gentleman here. We have them here, and we want to introduce them and talk about what they're doing and how they're contributing to this awesome the subject matter of domestic violence. Welcome, welcome. Your name is Shelby?
Yes.
Bago, did I say that correctly?
It's pronounced Bago, yes.
Bago, okay, Bago. Thank you for coming. And we have also, what's your name? We have Willie Moe.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did. Everyone likes to call me Willie Moe Jr. because it is Willie Moe Jr.
Willie Moe, Willie Moe. But that's good. But yes, introduce yourself again and let us know what's going on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shelby Bago. I am a recent graduate from Bowie State University, and Willie and I are here to talk about Black Crown. In maybe about spring of 2016, I was writing a one-woman show titled Black Crown, and it was about a young woman pursuing her dreams. And at the time, Nashante Davis and Chloe Davis Green, they were murdered in Fort Washington, Maryland. And on an off day of work, it just so happened that her funeral was happening in the same shopping center as my mom's job. And so I felt compelled to go because she was a Bowie State alum, and I don't believe in coincidences. And so I went to the funeral, and of course I was sad, but this was the first time that I saw the impact that domestic violence had on the community. And it started my quest of doing research, because I was just so confused as to why this happened and why this wasn't prevented and why people didn't see this coming. And so what I learned through my research is that more than half of victims of domestic violence don't even know that they're in abusive relationships.
That's correct.
They don't understand that the behaviors that are happening to them is considered a form of abuse. And so that, with that information and with Nashante Davis's story, it inspired me to revise Black Crown to a ensemble piece, and that's why Willie's on board. And Black Crown is now a play to encourage youth to reach their full potential and to prevent acts of domestic violence.
Awesome,
Wow.
awesome.
So you've been doing this now how long?
So I would say this project was over a span of 2 years.
Okay.
First, just having the idea to encourage youth to reach their full potential. After the death of Nashante Davis, I wasn't 100% motivated to go through with the project just because of not having resources, or where would I have this play and who would I market it to, and having all these questions. And coincidentally, but not coincidentally, I started seeing all these domestic violence plays produced, and I said, well, clearly this is happening, and clearly if other people are putting it on, I can too.
Yes,
and
there you
so
go.
I would say that maybe about a year of writing the original Black Crown, and then a year of gaining the confidence to do it, or 2 years later, we're here with Black Crown.
I applaud you. I love it. I just simply love it. What really truly inspired you to start writing, period?
Well, with Black Crown specifically, well, let's even go further back than that. So one semester, for one class, I wrote a minimum of 16 papers. And
Wow.
that was just one class.
Wow.
That was one class out of the 7 classes that I was taking. And so through the quest of college, I just became a writer. And I had a very hefty professor who was very detailed oriented and made me explain everything. And so I would say that writing definitely started in college, but what prompted Black Crown was a classroom assignment. I was assigned an assignment to write a one-woman show, and I had to stage it myself, think about where I wanted it to be, what I wanted to look like, all of those things. And then in the midst of that, the incident happened, and now we're here.
So you appreciate that professor,
Yeah.
right?
I must say,
you
yes.
do.
Through all the hard work, I
Yes,
discovered that
pays
I was
off.
a writer.
It pays off.
It does pay off, because you're now here having a production that's coming up real
Right.
soon. What is the date on your production?
Saturday, September 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts.
Awesome.
7 days. That's 7 days.
I know,
So y'all
7 days.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, it's not far away. So you have how many shows on that day?
One show.
One
one
show
show.
on September 8th at the Bowie Performing Arts Center in Bowie, Maryland.
Yes, and tickets can be purchased at the Shelby Baggot, that's BAGGOTT company.com.
I love that. I'm happy to see that we have people are also out speaking about this.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
people, the more the merrier, because it brings about more community people being aware of it.
Right.
We
More
can bring more
conversation.
dialogue, dialogue about it, and then our young people, because I see that our young people are falling in the hands of this demon. I call it. It has no age limit to it. It
Not
has
at
no
all.
color barrier to it. It's just what it is, and we have to speak about it because we can relate to it, because we have to speak about it from our community, from our perspective, what we experience and what we know about it. So I applaud you, because we do, again, need young people to be aware of it.
Right.
We see it's happening a lot more, even in the schools. They see it in the homes, but then when they go to school, there are things, that's why they become violent, because this is all they see,
They only see.
feel like they know, and it kind of stunts their growth in learning, because they're now in the hands of understanding this is all I want to do is mentally, because it's in a mindset. So when we are visual people, so when we start seeing things different, we'll do different.
Exactly.
We got
Exactly.
to know about that.
And also see, and so when I presented the project to my cast, and we were reading halfway through it, we were reading halfway through the play, and there was this very, very, very big discussion. They said, well, how is, like, Shelby, you're writing a domestic violence play, and I just don't see it. And so, Willie, I wanted you to talk about,
because I want to hear from
talk about how some spectators may, I guess, challenge whether or not what happens in the play is considered domestic abuse.
Yeah. So, in the media, you oftentimes you see domestic violence, you see the physical aspect of it, but there's more to it. Domestic abuse is more to it. It could be manipulation, control, and all those different aspects. So in this play, we highlight those different factors, and also a lot of times you see that it happens a lot from the guy, but I don't want to give the play away.
You better not.
It can happen from both sides, male and female, because people have controlling ways, manipulating ways, and the big discussion she's talking about is before it was even finished, we read through half of it, like she said, and it was like, well, I don't see it, because they didn't see that big, physical thing first, but it was other little subtle ways that you'll see when you come out on September 8th.
Yeah, I think, was this something that, I'm getting personal, that either of you have experienced personally?
Well, I have learned through my research that I have been considered abusive in my previous, intimate relationships. Let's say, for example, Willie and I are in an intimate relationship, and Willie decides to spend time with someone else outside of myself, and I then get upset and put consequences to his actions. That's a form of domestic abuse. It's a form of control. Right. Luckily, within my previous relationships, I wasn't acting upon that, but that is a sign of abuse. And so maybe not as far as the extreme of domestic violence, but I feel like this play is going to show everyone how they may be manipulative or abusive in their relationships, and hopefully motivate them to change their ways.
Yeah. Did you want to add something to that?
I was just going to say the same thing for me. This play actually, that's why I love, the arts, because you learn about yourself in the process. And this showed me, wow, I might have had some ways too.
Opening up your eyes. And
I don't want you to spend time with anyone else but me.
And stuff that I need to change. And it's funny because I had my friend on the porch the other day, who I'm not going to name, and he was telling me about his situation. I was like, we actually talk about this in a play. You actually
really need to be
like, it's not physically, but it's mentally.
Right. But they're not even aware of it because they're so used to doing something, and they don't get corrected on one is challenging on it, so they're just going to do it and not even aware of what they're doing. That is a sign of or a portion of being in that direction. So everybody ever thought that because if I hit someone physically, that's abuse, but it comes beyond that.
Yeah.
And I think, by doing the research, I learned that one significant thing the first thing I learned was when a victim of domestic violence reports or claims a restraining order against someone, the first third of those victims are dead within the first week, and then the other 2/3 are dead within the month. And so then I was like, okay, well, this is still only focusing on when it's too late. What is domestic violence and how is this growing? And I just learned that it's these very, very, very small seeds that are planted. And I know that everyone's story is different, but most oftentimes people don't get into relationships thinking that they are going to kill their significant other. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I think the reason why instead of starting from scratch, I revised the Black Crown that I had, because I learned that as a young person, you are dependent upon your parents. You're dependent upon the school system. You're dependent upon someone in some shape, form, or fashion taking care of you. And as you're transitioning into an adult, you learn to have your independence, your freedom. And oftentimes what happens is young people, they get into these intimate relationships, and instead of filling the voids themselves with goals or personal aspirations, they allow this other person to fill those voids within themselves. And so I feel that with young people specifically, I feel like that is that's what's happening. Instead of reaching your fullest potential, you are getting into a relationship and expecting that person to be there for you in every way possible as a parent. And that's what I feel like is the basis of Black Crown. Just being a young person and trying to find your voice and just getting into a relationship and it ending up turning into domestic abuse.
Well, we're going to take a break shortly, but when we come back, I have a couple other things we definitely want to talk about, mention, and get more deeper into your production, because I want to ask you some things that's about those pieces, so that we can invite people, because you want people to come.
Yes, we want people to come.
We want to give them something, a little something, if you don't mind. But we'll talk about that a little more after our break, okay?
Okay.
We're going to be right back. Four Sisters Live here. We'll be back.
We're back.
Yeah.
I got a question for Will.
Oh.
What made you want to be engaged in this production?
Okay, well, I actually met Shelby, what month was that?
April.
Yeah, April, at my office, Park and Planning.
Uh-huh.
And she was telling me about her play, asked me about it. And at first I was like, sure, I wanted to be a part of this because I like to act. But then when she told me what it was about, domestic violence, you know, I think anytime someone actually be a part of something that has to do with something topic like that that's really heavy, like you gotta take a step back, hesitate, like because it's really powerful. Like you have to be ready, be sure you're ready to be a part of something like that. But I like to challenge myself, and it's really being part of something bigger than yourself. So
Exactly.
she got the yes.
Very easy, huh?
It wasn't really easy.
But you think about it and say yes.
Yeah, because I know people who have experienced this, so it's actually an emotional topic for me. So,
Wow. You know, I just recently got connected to this, it's called Adventure Theater. And what they're trying to do is bring in diversity. They want to get our kids more engaged in the arts and theater. So once we finish this conversation, I need to talk to all three of you, because we now need to be partnering with them so that we can bring all this talent that we have in our community together.
Yeah.
So we would definitely talk. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that until, that you worked for Park and Planning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good.
Good.
So I know you get a chance to do other theater opportunities.
Yeah. We both were actually company managers for a theater program this summer.
Oh, really?
Through the Park and Planning Commission. Her program was TPE, and mine was Prince George's Children's Theater.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
toured.
God,
We
this
did
is
2
awesome.
shows a day at different community centers or different sites to put on a child's play.
Well, where they're going to do the teaching and the workshops is going to be at Six Flags. So, kids going to love that idea. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk. We'll definitely talk. Yeah.
So what I wanted to find out, how many cast members are in your production?
There are 5 cast members in the production, yes.
And
So
the
3
ages that you have?
Everyone's 23 years old or older.
That's great. That's awesome. So give us a sneak peek of
Yeah,
something,
give us a little taste of it,
something
yeah.
that's going to be happening. You know, I don't know if you want to take the stage to do it or what. That is,
Wow.
but I mean something that
You can lead
share.
the audience.
Yeah. First, set it up and give us something on the storyline behind it, or however you want to do it.
Okay. I'm like, okay. So when I decided that I was going to write Black Crown or to revise it, I asked myself, well, do I want it to be a reflection of Nashante Davis's story, or do I want it to be a complete narrative that's made up, in inspiration of her story? And that's what I decided to do, because there's no way that I feel as an artist or even as a person that I could shed truth to her life without her physically being here.
Exactly.
And so that definitely helped me figuring out, okay, where I'm going to start. So then after I did that, I said, okay, well, how am I going to separate this narrative from her own personal narrative? And I said, time. So the play is set 20 years from now, actually. I haven't told a lot of people that, but the play is actually set 20 years from now.
Awesome.
And it's basically a world of a play where African Americans have flourished. We now pretty much dominate the economy and supply and demand needs. The Prince George's County is the richest county in the narrative. And what else happens in the play? A lot of things are futuristic. Something else, so like a video game that they play now, it's with gloves instead of with a remote control. And it's like the gloves are like censored to your body. There's this thing called a SB stop where Zoe and Elle, they meet at a SB stop. And what happens is you walk to an SB router and your phone connects, and a driver will come and pick you up in minutes. And so it's a very interesting, it's a very futuristic piece.
I love it.
Like
And my goal was to make people forget that they're coming to see a domestic violence piece. So in the beginning, it's to capture you into the world of play, and then boom, you're hit with it. And you're like, well, how did I even get here?
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's very
so
different.
I think it'd be very hard to portray that in the writing.
Well, do you have a little piece in there, a line yourself that you express in this piece?
Express
In terms of your dialogue, of the monologue, do you have that?
Yeah, I have a lot of.
Do you have one that you could pick out?
What about like a favorite?
One of your favorites? Yeah.
What is my favorite?
I don't even know if I have a favorite line. I wrote the play.
My favorite is.
Do you have a
probably
monologue? How long is the monologue?
A monologue?
Do you have a long monologue?
I do have a long monologue.
But we
that
want
I
to
don't-
we
Yeah, I
want
know
to save
she-
it for the play.
I got you.
Well, no, what we're going to do is have them come back because we're going to see the play.
But the 8th is next week.
Yeah.
So we got to see you have some kind of something. Oh, you won't be giving it away. It's still coming. You have something that you can do. Yeah.
Well, I was like, we do have a promotional video that promotes the art projects that we have for 2018. It's some glimpses of Black Crown, but it's not 100% Black Crown. So could we share that with you all?
You have it here?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what we need to do, I think we had to get it to our production manager. That'd be great. I just want to get some visual of what's going on.
And we also have,
You got a flyer?
we have a flyer. We have professional pictures. We have the promotional video.
Okay.
And what else do we have, Willie? The countdown photos. Yeah, we have.
I got some stuff, but we could do the video, the little small promotional video you have. Okay, so we're going to set that up.
Yeah, we know we want.
I'm trying to
Trying to get me cut.
I put you on the spot. At least I got something out of y'all, right? So we can see
Willie,
something.
give us what's happening.
I'm excited for you all doing this. I feel the
know.
energy of it, and I love what you're doing.
Excitement.
I think this is great.
I am
really
just so
do.
proud of both of y'all guys, and we just got to keep this going. This is actually the beginning of us surfacing all of the talent that we have in our community. And Wyoming has her production, you have yours. There's so many other people that are coming out and being smart to realize that they can use this platform to tell their story.
Yeah. And this is what we're talking about, using what we have, the connections that's there to make that happen. Because what you're doing is different than mine, but guess what? We're talking about
But the same thing.
We're
Same
getting
goal.
to the same goal, absolutely, to make that happen and do what we do. So I'm excited that you all are going to do something like this. Again, I have to mention, we're talking about the young, our millennials, the ages of 22, 23, 19, or whatever, understanding that they too want to be a part of bringing and bridging a gap to help make this an impact on conversation. I really think this is necessary. They can listen to Peg and I all day. I mean, we're definitely older in terms of our experiences, but when you all bring it out, I think it brings a light and sheds a different perspective, and you can relate on the terms of what they can understand.
Exactly.
You know.
And I also think that, you know, when I was completing my research, I'm like, you know, all these domestic violence panels are happening, you know, all of these domestic violence seminars are happening, but what is an innovative way to approach domestic violence? And I also think that I didn't necessarily pick it this way, but I'm glad that we're all Prince George's County residents because it's, you know, it's relatable. You literally have people from your community talking about something that happened in your community. Prior to this, Willie and I believe that we both are very, very passionate about the arts, but it's different when something charges you to write something and to actually to be art instead of just performing. So now I can say that we are art.
I love it.
Well, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we want to see this promo video, and then we'll be able to dialogue a little bit about that and invite the people again. Then we can re-invite them again, and so they can come out to see this awesome production. Okay?
Yes.
Good job.
We'll be right back.
Why
go, girl. I love the red, of course. That's
Yes.
my
Thank
favorite
you.
color.
Yes.
But that being said, you have some dancing involved in that?
Yes, there's a little bit of dancing involved, and we're hoping that with the now that I've produced Black Crown, I want it to be done not completely differently, but just even more thorough, even more to elaborate even more on the characters. And so I'm hoping that it will become a musical in the future. And but there is some dancing in it, but I am hoping that it will become a full-fledged musical.
So for someone who just may have tuned in, we're talking about domestic violence. Number one, this is our segment for today. We are presenting this awesome production that's going to be coming up that's going to talk about domestic violence, on September the 8th.
Yes, next
And we
Saturday.
have the director, producer here, and her name is Shelby
Bago.
Bago. Well, why would I say that? Bago. Shelby Bago. And then we have our awesome brother here, Willie Mull, and they're part of this production called Black Crown. And they're going to be performing this on September the 8th, the Bowie Performing Arts Center in Bowie, Maryland. So what time does the show start?
7:30. The show will start no later than 7:35.
Yeah, you want to be on
Doors
time.
open at 7.
Doors open at 7.
That's good to know. Good to
Yes.
know.
Are you going to have any vendors there? Or are you just going to be straight?
Well, I do have the next step.
Yeah.
That's going to be present there. Linda, she'll be
Linda
passing
Shaw.
out. Thank you, Linda Shaw. She'll be passing out
Okay.
information.
Oh, yes, that's a good
Linda
thing to
Shaw.
know. That's a good thing. I'm glad you said that because you need to have information
Oh,
Right.
definitely,
provided
definitely.
to the people when they're coming because they need to know what to do after.
Yes.
Right.
Where
yes.
do I go? Or any information that you need, any pamphlets or any kind of other information. Where can I get counseling? Anything of that
Yeah.
nature.
Linda's the key. She's the
Linda
person.
Shaw is
Yeah.
working, and I forgot Linda's on the.
She's on it.
She's on the mission.
Yes,
And
yes,
she's
yes,
definitely
yes.
a part of this. As many of you also know that Four Sisters for Sisters Network, that is head and founder, CEO, our illustrious host here, Peggy Morris, provided this platform so that we can speak on this. She provided this platform so the sisters can help another sister
That's right.
to come together and help in the time of need, and how we can even have dialogue and support each other. Because I said earlier, it doesn't matter, your color or your age or anything, but it on your status. You can be a businesswoman, you can be a political, you can be a first lady, you can whatever.
Right.
They're
right.
walking in sadness. They could be walking in hurt and pain. And we as women, we also well cover that up.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to cover that up also well. We dress it up. And we get up and we go and we wear these different hats. And men don't understand. You could never put yourself in the shoes. Not that you said you would, but I'm just saying to you,
Right.
you could never put yourself in a position as a woman to see and know what we really go through. We hide, we suppress,
Hold in so
hold
much.
in
yeah.
so much. And so when we are speaking about this issue and men don't understand where we're coming from when they feel like they do, never will they ever, never will you ever understand what a woman goes through and what we feel, because we have so much that we have to give out. We have so much that we have to give out. We have so much that we have to do in order to be a woman and then be other things to other people.
Yes.
Peggy,
Oh, yeah.
it's not easy at all. So when a woman comes home from work or whatever she does, and she has to go in her household and be a part of an abusive environment, that takes you to a whole nother plateau.
Exactly.
That really takes you somewhere else. So when men are empathize, they're sensitive to a woman's needs and what it takes. And I'm not going to just put it all on the men, because we do have women who do not take their rightful place as a woman, and they can be very aggressive, and they can cause some things their own demise as to what will happen to them or what happens to them. So it's all about educating and letting them know, hey, what part did you play?
Exactly.
In this matter and in this situation. But we want to also teach our young ladies coming up that you don't have to settle
That's right.
for any of that, because we want to start changing the thought and the mind
And
process of
mindset.
that. So yeah, so this domestic violence is huge. It's a lot, and I understand what you're saying before when we come on the break, that it's been a journey for you, and it's really been rough. Talk about that.
Yeah. Not easy.
Well, I guess, so what is so significant about the day that I met Willie is so many things happened. I didn't know that I was going to meet my co-star, which I met Willie. It was my mom's birthday.
Okay.
It was Emancipation and Proclamation Day, so April 16th. It was the day that things were signed for slaves to be free.
Sure.
My car started giving me problems, and I was also denied for a grant. And so that was a very, by the time I got to my mom's birthday bowling activity, I was just like, hey. She's like, how did you get here? I was like, I got here. She's like, where's your car? I'm like,
right.
let's just focus on your birthday.
Right, exactly.
And so I've been denied for a grant. I now need a new engine for my vehicle 3 weeks before the production goes up. I no longer have a vehicle. My director quit on me. My scenic designer quit on me. A couple of actors have quit on me.
Oh, wow.
Just, trying to raise money with the GoFundMe. Just literally.
Chain reaction, huh?
Just literally dealing with all of the obstacles that came with this production and telling myself no, that I'm still going to persevere. I'm still going to put on this project because I know that I can. I thanking my mom and my sister and my entire family for helping me to sell tickets. I just genuinely appreciate them. It's no way that I could have put in all the work that I did with this project and sell tickets. My family has definitely held it down.
And you nonprofit?
No, I'm not a nonprofit. So I went to a nonprofit. I did a lot of research in this last year. So I went to a nonprofit workshop, and I learned that you have to have dedicated persons in order to start a nonprofit, because it is a team effort, 100%. And when I decided to put on Black Crown, I didn't have a team. And so my father, he encouraged me to register my business as an LLC. And I was like, well, Dad, I don't need an LLC. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm glad I did, because it now places, if anything happens with the project, it's now placed on the liability of the company. The insurance is going through. The insurance is going through the company. Everything is just being housed through the company instead of personally me. And so I am an infant when it comes to the business world. I'm a very
learning. It's a learning process.
But I don't regret it 100%. It has showed me so many things about myself and things that I want to do differently for the future, and it allowed me to gain new relationships. The postcard or the graphic that you saw that advertised Black Crown.
Nice.
Just literally.
Nicely done.
My friend Kevin, he's helped me to put together everything, and so just literally learning all that it takes to house a business. It's been a very of a rewarding journey.
Well,
wonderful.
I applaud you.
Yes, I do
and
too.
both of you, and how you all come together. And God places people in your life for a reason. And let me just let you know. You say what
That's very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Willie and I actually went to the same high school. Willie actually worked for Park and Planning. Willie and I have been in the same circle for a very long time, but we just met this year. So I definitely believe in that.
See how that goes? That's divine. And I know about that also well. Would you say?
Divine timing.
Yeah,
always.
exactly.
I was going to say it's divine. And because people are going to come and people are going to
go. Exactly.
But it's your vision, your baby, our baby.
That's right.
We got to nurture it. It's like having a child.
That's right.
You got to see it grow and see it come to fruition till it's
And it's going to fall, okay?
And it's
going to get back up. Okay.
I have learned that in business, you are going to, I don't want to call it failure, but that's the only word that I can think of at this time. You're going to experience 90% of failure throughout your entire business venture. It's just going to be that 10% that allows you to do what it is that you want to do. And so anybody that's thinking about starting a business, be prepared to fall. Scrape your elbows.
But the key is to learn from your mistakes. If you sit up there and continuously do the same thing over and over again, then that's on you.
Yes.
Okay, you
But
got
not-
to be
but-
smart enough to take it to another level. Once you have fallen and learn those mistakes and you get back up, that's where the growth comes in.
And I definitely agree. And I thought that all of my failures were going to come from mistakes, and some of them aren't. Some of them is just going to be a part of the process.
And
you know,
timing.
that as
That's
well.
it.
You know, I didn't know my car was gonna need a new engine 3 weeks for my show, but it just happens. You just learn how to just deal with
That's
all
right.
the obstacles that come
All
with
that
producing your
stuff
That's
come
project.
it.
on. But let me just say, be encouraged.
Thanks for the ride today,
That's
Willie.
right.
Yeah, I was just saying, thanks for the ride. See, what a good friend.
That's right.
He came at the right time. If it's not anything else before a ride. But we thank you all for coming. We
Oh,
really
yeah.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
sharing.
Thank
So
you.
again, tell everybody about the play, the date, and where they can contact you and all that good stuff.
Black Crown premieres Saturday, September 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts, and you can purchase tickets at the Shelby Bago, B as in boy, AGGOTT company.com.
Bago. I got it now.
Yes, he does.
Can I chime in? I just want to put out my Instagram. Y'all can
Go
follow me.
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, baby. I was going to get to you. Go ahead.
At Willie Mac _ Productions. That's Willie WILLIE Mac MACK _ Productions.
Awesome,
Yay.
awesome.
That's a wonderful thing. I look forward to meeting you again on
Yes.
Saturday and see what you're going to look like then.
Yes, I know.
The inside
Oh,
situation on
okay.
that and see what you look like then. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks again.
I'm a woman of many looks, my mother
I
told
know
me.
that's right, but it's a good thing because that keeps you
Beautiful.
youthful, it keeps you moving, it keeps your mood different. We need to change up sometimes.
Right,
That's
exactly.
life. Yes, that's life. That's how we go. So go out and support Black Crowns next Saturday, the 8th. Tell as many people she needs to support.
That's right.
Period. End of story.
Come on,
We need
community.
to
Let's make
support.
it happen.
Let's make it happen. Thanks again.
Thank
We're going to
you,
go to
Shelby.
commercial break. We'll be right back. Got some more news to share. Thank you. If y'all want to hang out for a minute, you can. I got to get ready before we
Right.
car wash. Yeah. Car wash. Yeah. Oh, y'all know why we singing the car wash. At the car wash. What's up, Reggie?
Hey.
Reggie is here live and living
The
color,
man,
baby.
the
Yeah,
man.
the man. You the man.
Four Sister Network. Where's
Sisters Live?
Four Sisters Live. It's all of that.
We got one missing.
We
We
got
got
one
one
missing.
missing.
Don't get mad at me because y'all know y'all all sisters and y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know I ain't seen her in a while with the Wild Child. I ain't
Wild
seen her in a while.
child.
So you're the fourth person. So
I'm the four right now. I'm
So
fitting
that
in.
makes it
This
four.
is not right now. We Charlie's Angels, okay? And I'm Charlie.
Right.
And I'm
Charlie's
Charlie.
Angels.
And I'm Charlie. You don't really see Charlie, but Charlie's right here, right here.
So look, let us know what's going on because I got you in here so you can talk about the event that's coming, our event. So
Yes.
we just want to plug it in
Yeah.
first right here on Four Sisters Live. What's happening?
What's happening is Vox Wave is giving back like we always do. This time we're still bringing awareness to domestic violence. We're going to be doing an event right here at the location, 4711 Arth Place. We're going to be moving the car lot out, and we're going to be having DJs, live bands, Free food. This is a free event.
Can't
All
be
vendors,
free.
vendors, if you want to be a part of this, give me a call at 240-832-4455. Also, 4 Sisters Live will be here, and they're gonna be doing a car wash.
That's
Everybody
right.
say a car
That's
wash.
right.
Car wash.
I ain't gonna have no booty shorts.
You gave it away, girl.
I was gonna buy the booty shorts, but she ain't gonna wear them now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna get that. But for sure, we're gonna be giving away food all day long. I'm spending money right now buying food. Me and my wife gonna go to Costco's on Friday night, buy a whole lot of food.
Oh,
Me
wow.
and Ron's gonna be engineer Ron's gonna bring the grill out. We're gonna have our DJ here. We have live bands,
man,
live
that
poets,
sounds like fun.
music all day long. 'Cause everybody knows I love music.
I know. You got
Love
to. You got
music,
to.
right.
love
Go
music.
X-Way.
So I want to
right.
thank everybody who's a part of the station, a part of the TV station. And this is my way or our way of saying thank you to the community. So if you know some families that need something to eat and can take something home with them, bring them on out. We're feeding everybody. We're going to be feeding people till the food run out
Feeding the
next
neighborhood.
Saturday.
Next
Saturday.
Hot dogs.
That's right,
And
September.
you are the neighborhood. This will let you know.
September the 8th, next week,
That's
September
next
8th.
Saturday.
Saturday.
What's the time on that?
We're going to start cooking at 10 o'clock, and we're going to go till it gets dark. And
Hey, y'all can have a
until the
little
food-
brunch.
Oh, exactly. And
Brunch.
Linda don't eat a whole bunch of meat, but we're
I
going
don't
to
eat a
have fish
whole
for you, too.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have some. I eat a little fish.
She don't eat, she eats a little bit of fish, right?
I eat a little bit of fish.
Okay, but we got something for
I
everybody.
may eat that chicken wing every
Okay,
day.
so for everybody. So just come on out.
I'm an vegetarian.
Right now, I'd just like to thank Four Sisters Live. They do their thing every Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
And
we
one
love
of
it.
the positive shows that we have here. I thank the sisters every time I need something done or something to happen or something to go on, I need something distributed. These ladies help me out, and I thank them all the time. They give me a hard time. They beat me up every chance they get,
well.
but I got that back.
We wouldn't be lazy. if we didn't.
It's all
We
I'm used to
wouldn't
it.
be ready.
I'm used to it. That's what sisters do, but it's all good. I thank y'all again. But please come on out, get something to eat, something to drink, and we're gonna be right here partying, having a good time. And they're gonna be doing a car wash. Y'all gonna talk about the car wash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peggy, go for it, girl.
All I just say
It's your
is,
idea.
yeah. Wow,
You
wow.
heard it from her.
So if you don't see a car wash, it's your idea. No,
No, we're in it
we
together.
we had one of our members said to me the other day, I mentioned the fact that I was going to wash my car, and she says, "You're going to wash your car?" And I said, "Yeah." I hadn't washed in about 2 years, so I think it was way overdue.
You watched your car 2 years?
Oh my God.
Somebody else been washing it.
Somebody must have been washing the car.
But and I said to her, I said, really, I need to exercise. I need to
Okay,
move,
okay.
And she said, well, it's funny because that's what I love to do. I love washing my car because it gives me the energy to move and to exercise.
Okay.
And it just rang a bell. I said, well, why not have a car wash? When I mentioned to Reggie was talking about what he wanted to do, and then we just came together and we made it
wow.
happen.
So let's just say this car wash gonna be one day.
I
How
really
we
want to
doing?
do it. I really want to do it
Now, he ain't
because
cooking out every
He ain't
weekend.
No, I
cooking
ain't
out.
doing it every week.
Let's make that
Right.
we
We're not
really
gonna
want to
be-
do
he's
it, but
not
we got to
gonna
get
do it, but we
approval on
gotta
that. But
get
I'd like to
approval
do
on
it
But
every
definitely
Saturday
kickoff
in the
is
month of
Saturday.
September.
If we can't do that, we want to do it. But we want to definitely do it next Saturday.
Next Saturday. It's a
cookout
start. We'll see how
Yeah,
it
we'll
goes.
start,
wash.
yeah.
See how it go.
A cookout and a car wash. You can't beat that.
And free
Located
food at that.
Free food.
Free food.
Free food.
Yeah, you can't
So
beat
bring
that.
your families. I think it's the end of this summer kind of situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a good cookout at all this
I
summer.
haven't been to.
No, have I?
I haven't.
I went to New York for a birthday party. And that was outside. I haven't been to any cookout. No cookout.
So this is gonna be
So
great,
this is
Reggie.
timing,
This is
Reggie.
really
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
Can you cook? Who's gonna do the cooking?
Me and Ron gonna be on the grill.
Ron,
Ron,
Happy
the number one
birthday.
engineer who had a birthday this week too.
I know.
right.
You said
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
birthday. We're gonna say it again. Happy birthday, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I snuck a cake in him. He said, "Man, you snuck a cake in him on me." I said, "It's
You
all
know,
good."
and he ate it too.
It was
didn't
German chocolate too. He said he first time he had German chocolate.
What?
Oh,
That's
my goodness.
favorite
Oh,
cake.
Yeah.
I love
Mine
German
too.
chocolate.
I don't do nothing traditional, so I had to get him German
That's
chocolate.
right. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good
It
thing.
was right too. It was right too.
But no, but this is for
You'll
a
have one
cause,
today?
guys.
You have one today?
I know, right? But this is for a cause.
Yeah.
This really, the car wash
Yes.
and the cookout is for a cause. We're talking about domestic violence this today, all day, and we really want to be able to have something. I'm gonna tell you, it takes funds to move some things.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
And we're just saying we're giving back, and he's doing the food. Of course, he's going to be giving out the food We want y'all to fellowship and come out and be a
Yeah.
part of Forces
And
Live,
network.
meet some
That's
other people
all
and
this
network.
is.
That's right. Bring your cards, guys.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna have some
Girls.
giveaways too. They'll have some doing
Ooh,
prizes,
some
some giveaways.
giveaways.
Yes.
You gonna
Awesome.
spin that wheel?
You're gonna spin the wheel,
Spin
give
the
away
wheel.
some
They're gonna
things.
spin
We're
that
gonna do
wheel.
all
Bring
that.
the
We're gonna have
spin
some
the
fun. We're gonna have some
A
fun.
lot of fun. You talking
Have some
about
fun.
music and food and fun and fellowship and family can't go wrong.
And bring the kids. Bring
And
the
bring
kids.
some money.
the
You might
kids.
want to get a car out there.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we got some
we
cars,
have to
nice
plug in
imported
Star
cars.
Imports.
Star
yes.
Imports.
We're
Star
gonna be right here. Star
Imports.
Imports.
Right.
4711.
4711 Off Place
Here,
in
Star
Camp Springs,
Imports,
right
right.
behind Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
That's indeed.
So we're gonna make it happen next
Yeah.
Saturday the 8th. Thank you so much for plugging that
Yeah,
in.
And you know,
right.
and look, check this out. The folks that go over to Red Lobster, if they're smart enough,
They
they'll
can leave
give
their
us
cars.
their car,
That's right.
and we can wash it. They can go in there and eat and
Oh, they
come
can
back
eat over
out,
here.
and the
Oh, they
car's
can eat
ready.
here.
Oh, they might be able to eat right here.
They
Yeah,
do
it
right
it
here.
doesn't
They
matter.
may not
Let's get
want
them in the
any of
line.
Let's get them in the line. Let's bring,
Come
just bring
in
on
the
over.
line.
Let's come on
Bring 'em
over.
on over.
They may not want any of those biscuits.
That's
I
right.
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But we're good, and I love you all for watching.
Yes.
Forces
Yes,
Live,
yes.
part 2 of our conversation continues.
We'll
Thank
see you
to
next
our
week,
guest,
too.
Shelby,
See
and
you
we
guys.
thank our other brother, Willie, of course,
I like
coming
that
in.
commercial.
Yeah,
that
that
was
video.
nice.
That video. Who was that?
That
What
was your
going
work?
on?
That was your work?
That was his
Yeah,
style.
that's
That
good
was
Good
stuff.
work, bro.
Great.
Good work. I
Parker
watched it in the
Planning.
lobby, man. Watched it in the
Yeah.
lobby. It was tight. Yeah.
It was tight.
I see
It
it.
was nice.
Parker Planning stuff right
yeah,
there.
Yeah, that's what I watch you, man. What's up?
So,
You worldwide now, player. You on the internet, man. This ain't no DC thing, man. It's all over the world.
he
you know what
did
I'm
put
saying?
out that
DC
Willie
thing,
Mack.
yeah.
Get out there, YouTube.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Everywhere, y'all. Going out there.
So we will definitely connect next week. Love you for watching. Continue to have a great day and stay blessed. And we love you.
We'll see you
Forces
next
Live.
week.
Yes.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.